Alright, what up everybody? It's your boy Akeem. Welcome to this blog. Here to give you a preview of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. This is going to be a big matchup where we're really going to start to get into the nitty gritty of a lot of NFL talent for the 2015 NFL Draft. This game is between number 8 Michigan State against number 5 Baylor. This is going to be a great BCS matchup between these two opponents. Now, starting things off for Michigan State, they had a good season, just missing out in the Big Ten Championship due to their loss at home against Ohio State, who's in the college football playoff. And they're led by quarterback Connor Shaw, who had over 20 touchdown passes this season. And he has already announced earlier in the season, in the middle of the season, that he will be back for his senior year, another year, and another hope for Michigan State to win a national championship. Now, they have a lot of key players I like in this matchup on both sides of the field, so I'm going to go straight to the key players for Michigan State. Now, Jeremy Langford, their running back, he is a bruiser and a workhorse, over 1,300 yards rushing, 5.5 yards per carry, and 19 touchdowns. They have a good receiver, decent receiver, and 6'3", 190-pound Tony Lippett, leading the team in receiving, 60 receptions for 1,124 yards and 11 scores. And defensively, they have 4 key players that I'm looking at. Starting at the line of scrimmage at defensive end, Shalik Calhoun, 37 tackles this season, 6.5 sacks. At linebacker, Tywan Jones, he's a great player that I'm going to be looking at the linebacker position. And they have 2 great players on the secondary, and cornerback Trey Waynes, who some people even have as the #1 cornerback for the 2015 NFL Draft. As I was analyzing other scouts on top projected players, he has 3 interceptions to go along with 7 pass breaks. And they have a great safety in Curtis Drummond with 4 interceptions and 11 pass breaks, many tackles this season. He's one of the top free safeties I'm looking at for the 2015 draft. Now, for Baylor, they had a big year, 11-1 this season. Their lone loss was against West Virginia, but they still clinched a share of the Big 12 championship. Had the Big 12 had a championship game, I think that if Baylor had won the championship game for the Big 12, they would represent at least a top 4 seed for this year's college football playoff. Now, they're led by quarterback Bryce Petty, and they have a good running back in Shot Linwood. And this whole total offense has combined for 581 yards of total offense per game. And this is going to be a handful for that Michigan State defense. Now, other players I'm going to be looking at for the NFL Draft, at wide receiver, Antoine Goodley. Now, his numbers dwindled a lot this season, actually close to half of the numbers that he had last season. Last year, he had 1,339 yards receiving. This year, only 737 yards. At the offensive line, they have a great offensive lineman in Spencer Drango, in which this entire offensive line has only allowed 19 sacks on 467 snaps. That is a great job on that offensive line for Baylor, and they're anchored by Drango. And on the defensive side, they have a good defensive end and one of my top pro prospect at the position, and Sean Oakman, 48 tackles and 10 sacks this season. He's a junior entering, and he should enter the 2015 NFL Draft. Now, my prediction for this matchup is between a great offense for Baylor against a great defense for Michigan State. And because of what we saw in that Oregon-Michigan State game, I'm going to have to go with Baylor in this one because of their ability to spread that offense and even run the football effectively with Shot Linwood behind Bryce Petty at running back. So I'm going to have to go with the Bears in this one. This should be a good matchup unless that Michigan Spartan defense stouts up this matchup, but I have to go against them because of what we saw in the Oregon matchup, in which Marcus Mariota did a great job spreading the ball around and giving the ball to many hands, and Bryce Petty is known for doing that in this style offense, the spread offense for Baylor. So I'm going to have to go with the Bears over the Spartans in this matchup. Now, I have a couple more blogs I'm going to upload. Got more previews to talk about. We're edging close towards the end of the season, and I'll actually see you guys in just a couple of minutes. Thank you for watching this blog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.